In this mini lesson, I'm going to show you how to draw part one of our Yayoi Kusama inspired polka dot pumpkins. So today we're just going to be doing the drawing. Now I am going to be using Sharpie the whole time I'm working, but I would like all of you to start in pencil. I'm just using Sharpie because it shows up well on the video. So you can hold your paper portrait orientation or landscape orientation. I'm going to hold mine portrait orientation. And I'm going to grab my Sharpie. Make sure you put your name and your class code on it, like 4P or 2S or whatever you are. And then leave a little space at the top of the page for your stem. And then I want you to draw a nice big oval in the center of the page. Now, you can choose to have a mostly symmetrical oval like I did, or you can do kind of an oblong ovally shape that looks kind of like a bowling pin. That's your choice. Then you're going to draw some curved half oval shapes like this. Oops, I just bumped into my recording stand. Okay. And now I have a nice rounded pumpkin. Okay, now if I did the oblong shape, I would do the same thing, just half of it. So wiggly boop, and wiggly boop, okay? Then I'm gonna add my stem. So you can either do two parallel lines straight up or two parallel lines, which means they run alongside each other like railroad tracks, curved and a little oval on the end. So now I have a nice chubby pumpkin and a stem. So at that point, you would be done with the pencil, and then depending on whether I give you a Sharpie or a crayon, depending on what class you're in, you would then retrace all of those pencil lines. Now, friends at home, it's your choice which type of material you trace in, but I will tell you, if you are planning to watercolor paint to add color, please only use a permanent marker, because if you use a washable marker or even a regular like Crayola black, it will smudge. Crayon is also fine too. Crayon will resist smudging. So what we're going to do now is once you retrace, we're going to start to add lots and lots of polka dots, because Yayoi Kusama, as I talked to you about earlier, was known in the, or is known in the art community, she's still alive, as the princess of polka dots. So I am going to have you guys go straight to making your polka dots in your Sharpie or crayon, because otherwise you will be drawing and then retracing polka dots for a million years. So what we're going to do is, once we're done getting these drawn on, and you can choose if you want to make them big ones, small ones. You can make little skinny rows of them. You can do patterns of them. Like, let's say, for example, you do tiny, big, tiny, big, tiny, big, tiny, big, tiny, big. Maybe you want to do that in every other one. Maybe sometimes you want to have a row of big and then a row of tiny, like I did here. So it's completely up to you. Just remember, you're going to have to color all those polka dots in. So as much as I love detail, just know what you're getting yourself into. So once you're done drawing everything out, then we're going to start thinking about our background. Now, Yayoi Kusama is also known for another motif or type of image or pattern in her artwork called her nets. So her nets are really just repetitive triangles that sort of all just connect to each other. And they're not perfect triangles. She doesn't do them with a ruler. She paints them by hand. And she just repeats and repeats and repeats. Now, if every once in a while you accidentally do a rectangle or something by accident, it doesn't matter, because you're going to be doing so many of them that it is going to have a lot of repetition. and your viewer's eye is not going to be able to rest in one place. So that's fancy art talk for no one's going to notice. So I want you to fill the whole page with your net like I did here. And then that is the end of part 1, and you would be ready to move on to part 2 where you're going to be adding color.